Hello everyone, this is Tuckerticker and welcome to another episode of Borderlands. Just going to get back into this. I'm going to try something different this episode because what I'm doing is, let me adjust my mic so make it's alright. I am recording this audio after I've played this episode of Borderlands. It's so that I can not get distracted so much by the game. But it also means I have to remember what I've done because I'm not sort of doing it in real time. But yeah, it's just after Christmas. I think it's 30th of December today. So I've come back from visiting my family after Christmas to my room, which has been rearranged because we've had problems with damp. Partly because I never open my window or open the curtains. And that's been, for the most part, fixed now. The walls are much drier. But damp is not fun. You can get all sorts of. You can get quite ill from damp, sort of just infesting your house. I mean, we've had builds that to fix, and that's been done. But yeah. Now, if I recall, my next quest was to go and kill Janus Cobb, who is the leader of Janistown.
Dirty criminals control access to the trash coast. Dispose of what you will so you can investigate further.
So yeah, we're doing this stuff for tennis so that we can get to the trash coast. I actually did some research earlier as well. There's a secret weapon that I need to remember to go and collect when I have the quest to go there, because it's an area that's only available while I'm there. Yeah, I love this shotgun. It's just really well suited for taking out all of these guys with their just exposed heads. But yeah, I mean, going back to Christmas, I had a good Christmas. I sort of visited my family. I've got two sides to my family. I spent most of it with my dad, and then saw my mum for a little bit. But it was nice. I got to sort of see everyone. That's Taylor, Janus Cobb dead as well. Got a grenade too. Oh yeah, I got to see my family. Got some very nice presents. I think I got what did I get? Got an awful lot of Warhammer. I do modelling. Quite a lot. I like games that involve an awful lot of numbers. But yeah, I got that. I got some new strings for guitars. Just ridiculous amounts of chocolate as well. Some money. Just, you know, that sort of thing. Fear my awesome shotgun. I'm pretty sure he wasn't supposed to do that. But ho hum. But yeah, and I've sort of had. I didn't have any traditional Christmas dinner actually. No turkey or anything like that. I find turkey not to be all that tasty anyway. Might be because it's so mass produced, or it might just be because I'm not a fan of the taste. I think we had beef on Christmas Day, which was very nice. And it's not traditional, but you know, I prefer something that I'll enjoy more over something that I'll feel is traditional. It was kind of an untraditional Christmas anyway. I went to visit a cousin of mine who lives on a farm, and I'm not talking to sort of like a small cottage with a load of farmland around. I mean, they've got big sheds and stables all around. There's that vendor there, something like that. Yeah, and above one of the stables, there's this little sort of loft room, which is plenty tall enough to stand up in, and my cousin's turned it into like a man cave, which is brilliant. We sat in there, and it was freezing because there are literally holes in the walls that he's stuffed with cloth, but it's better than just leaving them open. And that was quite fun. I mean, he's got like a TV in there. He's got a dartboard. There was me and my brother there, and he proceeded to just destroy us at darts because neither of us were nearly as good as he was. Because he's got the board to practice on. Yeah, God, that's the burst shield. I'm not a fan of the sort of burst shields because I don't like relying on the fact that they have to go down before they become useful to you, before they sort of do any damage. It's cool and all, it's just not the best thing. I think I actually swapped out my grenades and didn't mean to there. But yeah, that was pretty much my Christmas. Then I went and saw my mum and sort of stayed on a different farm actually, which was nice. They had a very large Christmas tree. I must say that having sort of seen two sort of real grown Christmas trees, I much prefer the artificial ones because the grown ones just shed pine needles everywhere. I don't care if people think the artificial ones don't look quite as good. It's better than having to sort of clean up that sticky mess off your floor. I think this is where I sort of realize my inventory is really full and just go and sell everything. I'm not sure what the meat grinder does. Sort of the war is in your blood, because all those little red text things are usually special effects. They might just be things that are in the white text in the rest of the weapon, but sometimes there's some extra ones which aren't in there. In fact, there's a weapon which I believe I'll get later that'll illustrate that. I've got caustic machine guns. I've got 3 terrible scatterguns. I don't know why I picked them up or where I even got them from. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to New Year now. I think I've got New Year's Eve party to go to, which I need to organise. I always find it's difficult to try and keep up with everyone. I lead a very sort of slow and sedate and calm pace of life, and especially around this time of year, there's so much going on. There's the other peculiar thing. I've noticed a lot of people I know have not had the Christmases that were as good as they were expecting, and I suspect that this is in part due to sort of how the media sort of tries to sell Christmas to people as this wonderful magical time that it's going to be perfect and it's going to be wonderful and you're going to really enjoy it, but that sort of masks the fact that in order for Christmas and New Year to be this sort of fantastic, wonderful time, an awful lot of work and effort has to go into it. And I mean, I always go to visit my parents, and they do the vast majority of, if not all of the work. So I have no idea how much it takes. I just know that it's a hell of a lot. I wouldn't relish doing it myself. But yeah, so I've got this New Year's thing to go to, which should be very fun. Some good friends of mine. But one of the guys who I play Dungeons and Dragons with, which I need to start up. I've had to put everything, including my YouTube channel, to a large extent on hold to get my assignments done. So I've got one which is some cool stuff to do with AI navigation. One which is my final year project, which I've got to write up a sort of review of all the relevant literature to do with it, and then I've got one which is to do with DirectX, which has been causing all sorts of hell. Because I'm not sure if anyone's sort of familiar with DirectX and how it's programmed, but DirectX is effectively something that you'll see in a lot of games. I'm not sure if it was mentioned in the sort of opening credits to this game or anything like this. You usually see it mentioned in a game somewhere. It requires DirectX 9 or something. And what DirectX is it's just something to help the programmers draw things in 3D, like these little spider antlings. Because I mean, it's actually sort of calculating all the maths and stuff to get the 3D image that the computer knows about to the 2D image that you can see on the screen is, really complicated. But DirectX is still really complicated, and that's my problem with it. It's supposed to be a tool to make life easier. I'm sure compared to doing it all from scratch, it does, just not very much. Because I mean, it's what, like 1,000 lines of code to draw a triangle. No 3D even. It's just a little triangle on the screen. I think it was yellow when I did it. And that's just been causing problems because I couldn't get the right version of DirectX installed. And now I've come back off holiday, gone to work on that assignment, and all of a sudden it doesn't work for some reason. And I'm not sure why. I think it's some sort of update that's happened. I don't know what. I don't know how to get it to fix. But I sort of saved previous working versions, sort of like at different stages along my progress in the assignment, and none of them work now. Because it's something in the very basic code that is causing the error, and I don't know how to fix it. So that's been fun. But I've been trying to sort of avoid it until I can go into the university, test it on one of the university computers. Is that me sniffing there? Shouldn't have been. My microphone was off. Oh goodness! It sounds like it's been picking up.
I should warn you about tennis. There is something
You don't
strange
say.
about her. We haven't had a supply transport come in years. The commerce grid shows no log of her ever using any of my trade stations. But she must be getting resupplied somehow.
Oh. You see, that actually tells me something about it. I'll go into that later, but I know who tennis has been resupplied by, but I didn't realise they'd been in contact that long. So yeah, but yeah, that's been pretty much what's been happening to me since I got back. And stuffing my face with chocolate. I've got so much chocolate as well. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like chocolate, but after a point, you just get sick of it. And I can sort of feel my tongue feel sort of thick in my mouth because of all the chocolate that I've been eating. Because rather than sort of think, oh, I'm getting a bit hungry, I'm gonna go and find and go and sort of get a snack like some crisps, or make a sandwich, or go and cook a meal. I just snack on a bit of chocolate slowly over the course of the day, so I don't get hungry enough to go and consume a full meal. But instead, I just fill up on chocolate, and it's just all that sugar has sort of dried me out. I mean, chocolate's a weird thing as well. It's there's something psychological about it where it actually to eat, if you put it in your mouth and let it melt, the sensation in a large proportion of people, if not everyone, produces endorphins, which is some of the things that make you happy. Yeah, the mic's definitely recording. I can hear it. So I'm sniffing a little bit because it's a little dusty in my room. I could have sworn I turned it off. I'll unplug it next time. Yeah, just ignore all the what are those little things? I can't remember. I remember the spider ants. Scythids. Scythids, that's what they are. In fact, that's what I'm going to go and kill. This is a Scythid that the bandits have been revering as a god. So as you can imagine, you'd imagine that it'd be pretty epic. It comes out in a burst of fire, and it's tiny. Nice colours though. I mean, I like purple. You get a little sort of crappy revolver. I haven't used revolvers in this playthrough at all, really. They tend to be sort of like a cross between a repeater and a sniper rifle, so they've got very, very high damage and small clip sizes, but no, they do have scopes actually. They're sort of like the midpoint between them. Apart from you can get the really nice ones. I think I flipped my car here actually. Yep, there it goes. Fear my driving skills. Yeah, I think you can actually drive through those tyres in the ground there as well. But yeah, that's finally sort of put paid to the bandits and their religion, and I get a very cool weapon here. And this is what I was talking about earlier, where the red writing does something very different. So let's go hand that in. Now the dove, sometimes I forget to reload. Come on. It's probably to read the text. I forget on a couple of the quests. Let's sell the nonsense. I meant to go and put that stuff in the bank. I didn't do it before I sort of exited the game. Oh well. But yeah, going back to what I was saying about chocolate, chocolate sort of releases endorphins, which is something that makes you feel happy. Oh, and here we are. Look, you can see the ammo doesn't go down, sort of, no matter how long you fire it. I think that the reason it doesn't appear to go down at all is because of the mod that I've got is regenerating the ammo as fast as I'm using it. But that's just a gun that you never have to reload. It's just a shame it's not a little more powerful. Because the other one that I've got is just so much drastically more powerful than that. So yeah, but yeah, so chocolate sort of releases endorphins. So it is something which is very literally pleasurable to eat. So it can actually, you can become almost addicted to it. And I think I need some variety, so I might get some jelly beans or something. Oh, in fact, I've got some mint imperials downstairs. I like to think of myself as a sort of confectionery connoisseur. I'll hand that back into Helena Pierce. Now we've activated the beacons. Yeah. I've been thinking about my sort of plans for after I leave university as well, because after speaking to some of my tutors and talking to them about the merits of either staying on longer and becoming more highly qualified by doing either a master's or a PhD, what the opinion that's now beginning to prevail is that, oh, that's a static shotgun that I wanted to grab hold of, because it's getting to the sort of stage where I'll want a static weapon eventually. But yeah, the prevailing opinion on sort of plans for my future is to, rather than do the Masters or the PhD, is to go out into the industry and get some experience sort of in the real world. And I can do that a number of ways. I mean, I could literally just hunt for a programming job immediately I leave. This is the guy that I sort of kept checking back in with to try and get quests from as well. Yeah, get to go dumpster diving for great justice. Whatever on earth that means. But yeah, so I can either sort of go look for a programming job. I could go looking for any job that I'm qualified for, including just like serving as a waiter or working in a retail store or something like that. And then in the time I don't spend working, I could do work on a website called Freelancer, which is, as it sounds, just freelance work. That people post up jobs and you have to sort of like bid the lowest amount for it, or you can sort of list yourself as sort of being paid however much per hour and list your qualifications and that sort of thing. So I might do that, or I might sort of do the same thing, but rather than working on Freelancer, I might continue with the game that I was trying to build last year and try and get that finished. Because I imagine sort of having a complete game that I've built sort of myself will stand me in very good stead for a job, simply because it proves that not only do I know how to make the components for a game, but I also know how to mesh them together. But that's the hope anyway. I think this is where I discovered that I think those bullets have a delay on sort of how fast they travel. If you watch when I shoot, there's another long range one. Takes a few moments before they actually start getting there. I think I missed that one entirely. Oh no, I got it. Yeah, it's a weird gun. I think that's why I switched to the Hyperion. It's got high bullet velocity and more accurate when you scope in. Yeah, and then there's like I said, or I could just sort of not listen to my tutors so much, or at least not the ones that told me to get work experience, and just stay on and do the Masters or the PhD. A couple have suggested doing the Masters or PhD, but just doing it at a different university, which I'd really rather not do, because I'm settled in here with an old friend of mine who owns most of the house that we live in. I just sort of pay him rent. So I'd rather not have to leave in the near future. It's nice here. I don't want to leave. So I'll probably sort of I'll probably end up going for the sort of work in retail and get more experience route, simply because it's the most likely to be stable. Because one thing I want is job stability more than anything else. I mean, once I'm working and have that job stability and have either a programming job that pays well enough, or I'm making enough money from the freelancer and the retail work that I can keep it stable, I'd like to actually go and sort of go to college and learn a trade like plumbing or electrician, or be an electrician and that sort of thing, so that I can then, if I for whatever reason don't have any programming work, I could work as a tradesman, and it'll just give me much more variety of things that I can do, high level of qualification and higher level of job security as well. But we shall have to see what the future brings. I think this is the quest where you dumpster diving, because this guy had an argument with his wife, and his wife stole their little things which are entitled dirty mags, which you can only imagine what those are. Doesn't really bear thinking about. So I've gone to go and collect them all, which is perhaps the grossest job I've ever seen in a video game. Although if you've heard of worse ones, do post in the comments below, because it's one of those sort of things where you're sort of interested, but you're almost not interested to hear about it. I think it's badass to just wander out of that hut. So yeah, and I've got my deadlines to cope with as well, because I've got until the 7th to get these 3 things finished. So that's my AI module, my research module, and my 3D graphics module with DirectX, if I can get the DirectX done. So if I can't get my code to work, then I can't test any new things either, so that's actually been put on hold until that's done. It's the thing with going back, there's an Atlas combat rifle there, but it's not as good as my SMG, because it's just from a lower level enemy, and it's a lower level gun. Yeah, so I've got till the 7th to get all this stuff handed in. I'm wondering how I'm going to do it. I mean, it's like, what, 8 days from now? And there's actually the New Year's Eve stuff, and it doesn't really bear thinking about. And here I am doing this, mostly because I'm getting frustrated with my work and I need to sort of relax and calm down. I've avoided buying Borderlands 2 though, so that I do sort of get down and do my work. So otherwise I'd just be playing that rather than doing it, which would be bad. But I've seen a bit of it played. I'm a little sort of perturbed that the soldier can't get his ammo regeneration mod anymore, but it's not really that big a thing. I'll just have to learn to, you know, be more careful with my ammo. And I suspect that the Gunzerker can actually get a mod that does the same thing for him instead, so I may go with that. I just prefer the soldier's abilities. I suppose I'll check what the soldier can do though. You never know, there might be one for him. I think I checked like just after Borderlands 2 was released, and the sort of wikis on it weren't all that detailed, mostly because they just hadn't had time to gather the data. Next, the quest for this area. Oh no, there's another one to go into that container. I think I went to that after I'd handed the Eric's Valuables quest in. But yeah. But no, Borderlands 2 does look good, and I might do a playthrough of it. But whereas with this game, I know what I'm doing and I know where I'm going. With Borderlands 2, obviously I won't. So there'll be I think if I just do a playthrough on my first go round, there'll be a lot of just sort of messing around and me finding my bearings. I don't think that's as fun to watch, really. I mean, I'm sure you've seen, sort of, if you've been following this series, that I sort of get lost in my thoughts or lose focus every so often, and that'd happen an awful lot more if I'm having to sort of think really hard about where I've got to go, as well as sort of other stuff while playing Borderlands 2. So I might eventually do a playthrough of it, but not until I've actually played the game through a couple of times or so. That's a weird noise coming from a container. It's supposed to have my reward in it, but as you will see, that is not the case. The little sort of like cutting his way out is a nice effect. Oh hey, look, there are people that are on fire. So I'm annoyed that none of them dropped any loot of any sort. I suppose I did just get to like $250 for a little box, which is not bad considering the area. Yeah, so let's hand that back in. I think I'll pick up the other quests too, which are actually quite fun. I need to get a different grenade mod though. Because there's this one, which is literally fishing in the, what was it? Treacher's Landing, that was it, where I sort of collected all the bottles of beer and stuff. I've got to go out to Treacher's Landing and grenade the water for fish. It's apparently the only way to get them out.
Are you here when the water's going to come back on?
How they wash their hands. Oh, how terrible. It sounds so pretty. But yeah. And then there's this quest from Scooter, which is to destroy the bandit gunboats, which are effectively just turrets on boats.
Boy's haircut.
They're not too hard to take out. I think I could probably actually get out a rocket launcher to do it with.
You keep yourself out of trouble.
So yeah, let's go talk to Helena Pierce.
Can I do for
What
you?
can you do for me?
Dr. Tannis has always
You've
been
done. Have
very
you something to
trusting
report?
customer.
What have you done? Now she's pissed because I've put that other guy in charge of Janestown. I think it's Taylortown now, isn't it? Yeah, it'll be called Taylortown. I've got to go in and kill him because he's now much more of a threat than Janus was. So that's fun. I think there's like a secret chest there. Anyway, that's the end of the episode now. So thank you all for watching, guys. Don't forget to like if you like and subscribe if you want. And hopefully I shall see you next time. Also, kittens.